to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
One out in the bottom of the seventh, and now it's Vinny Pasquantino's turn. He's 1 for 2 with a single tonight. Vinny lines it to right field. That'll get Caglione to the plate. It'll get the Royals on the board, and now Vinny's digging for second, and he's in there with an RBI double. And Tolbert, it's a ground ball, base hit left field. There's Massey, and the game is tied.
No throw at all for Michael Massey, who easily scores from second base. You said it, Ryan. Someone's going to have to get the big hit, and lo and behold, it's Tyler Tolbert off the bench.
So first and second, 2 outs. And one of the game's best players, Bobby Witt Jr., is up.
Soft liner, left field, it's down. Here comes Jensen, and the Royals walk off the A's in the bottom of the ninth. Walk off number 3 for Bobby Witt Jr. in his career.
All right, Gary Sanchez is going to try his hand at pitching. Take it to the bag. It's a shutout. Gary Sanchez to the finish line. And a record-setting night for the Brewers. Ties a Major League record for largest margin of victory in a shutout in the modern era.
Thank you guys for all the love, the support. I also would like to say thank you to the Hunt family, the entire Cheek family, for the outpouring, the love, and the support that my family has received through this particular situation. But with all that said, we back to football. It feels good to be back.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. We're joined on the show today by Caden Sanders, and Landon Winkler is in the corner running your video feed and the cameras. The show is presented by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities supporting student, community, and employee needs. We kick the show off with the sounds of the past 24 hours. Some interesting things in the world of sports over the last couple of days. The Royals have taken 2 out of 2 so far from the just the Athletics now. No longer the Oakland Athletics. In fact, they do not belong to a city at this point. They're moving to Vegas. They don't want to be called the Oakland Athletics anymore, so they're just the A's. And so the A's lose to the Royals last night. Bobby Witt Jr. with a walk-off single in the bottom of the ninth. Royals were down 3-1 going into the ninth inning, Caden Sanders, and they were able to they managed to make it happen.
In the last 2 games, you've seen something that they've struggled the entire season with. And one, it's keeping leads late because of their bullpen. But then this time around, coming away with the victory, in the late innings. And so seeing those things happening against the A's, obviously it's the A's,
Sure.
But, I'll take it, right? It's one of those things where obviously, you're back 13 and a half games and everyone is either, leading or 5 games back and in wild card standing. So like for the Royals, just seeing this against the A's, at least before, September is great. If they can get something going, they could probably make a push. I don't know if they're just too far down to make a push to the playoffs.
I'm kind of at the point where I think they're too far gone to make a playoff push, but they are certainly playing a whole lot better since the All-Star break. They're hovering around 500. There's you have a reason to watch at this point. You have reasons for hope. What Jack Caglione has done since the All-Star break is really fun to watch. You're getting Michael Garcia back. Vinny Pasquantino's coming back stronger than he was when he went to the IL, pardon me. It's been a fun team to watch over these past 30 games or so. Even though the record at the end of the season, I don't think they're going to catch the White Sox. But I do think that they are a team that at this point is really worth paying attention to, and they've had some really good showings. And I maintain this pitching staff, even though the wins have not racked up for this group, they've been really fun to watch this year. They have a really good starting rotation of pitchers.
Yeah, and since we started Sports Day, I've really tuned in. And just the last 2 games, obviously, they've put it together. There's been mishaps, question marks that you go, as a fan, this is going to hurt type of thing because you prepare yourself. But I will say that they're putting it together in the right spots when they need to, and they're getting those plays that they definitely needed earlier in the season.
Our other sounds of the past 24 hours, the Milwaukee Brewers last night, not a team that we talk about a ton on this show, But something happened with them last night that we need to bring up, Caden. The team that my team, the Atlanta Braves, are about to face, beat the Seattle Mariners last night by a final score of 22-0. It ties the largest margin of victory ever in a shutout in a Major League Baseball game. And the Brewers scored 9 runs in the 8th inning, kind of after everybody had given up. But let me see here. They hit 4 home runs in this game. And I don't know. I don't know what you say about this. They only used 4 pitchers. Gary Sanchez, who is a position player, went out there to pitch the 9th inning and was throwing 50-mile-an-hour eephus pitches just to try and generate contact. It was one of those brutal things, and it's baseball. Like, games like this happen. But to score 22 runs and not give up a single one, I mean, it's going to draw headlines.
Yeah, and in my opinion, you look at the box score, right? You score 1 in the first, and then, in the 5th you take 5 runs, you take 5 more in the 6th.
This game was 1-0 in the 4th after the 4th inning.
Yep, and then after that it was just pedal to the metal, and then 7th inning you get 2 more, and then in the 8th you just said, you know what?
Yeah, let's
just go.
I feel like Seattle. I can't remember. Did Seattle put in a position player at that point?
No.
Okay,
No.
so they were just hammering runs, and they got 9 runs in that 8th inning. Again, record-setting baseball game for the Milwaukee Brewers. They beat the Seattle Mariners 22-0. It is ties the largest margin of victory ever in a shutout in Major League Baseball history in the modern era, since the dead ball era, when pitchers could rub mud on the ball and make it harder to see, and deaden the ball with outside stuff. So, in what we consider the game of baseball today, since that was pretty much invented, only one other time has this happened. Really, really impressive game. Last sound of the past 24 hours, Eric Bieniemy is back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Fan favorite offensive coordinator, had a bit of a tragedy occur. Not as tragic as it could have been, thankfully. But the alleged incident between Eric's wife, Mia, and the couple's son, Eric Jr. Mia is stable enough to where Eric Bieniemy Sr. feels like he can come back and join the Chiefs in St. Joe, and that's obviously having your offensive coordinator back is a good thing.
Yeah, on the light of that, you hear that and you're just, praying everything's all right. And so I'm just glad that she's healthy, and hopefully, family, gets that taken care of. But what I will say is that having Bieniemy back at the OC spot for the Chiefs is definitely something that they've been needing ever since he left. Matt Nagy kind of really filled that role, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. He wasn't good at Chicago. I knew that he wasn't going to be good for the Chiefs.
It didn't look the same. It didn't look right.
No, it did not. And it just felt like it was a forced thing. Whereas I feel like Andy Reid and Bieniemy just are really on the same page. And, I'm excited for this next season.
Certainly, Chiefs looking to have a bounce-back year. At the very least, have a winning record, make the playoffs. That's kind of the standard that they have set at the very least. And you kind of want to see, okay, can Patrick Mahomes still do it after, tearing his ACL and really having the first major injury of his career? You need to see him kind of come back and be Patrick Mahomes again, because even when he was healthy last year, it didn't really feel like it was all there. So the Chiefs open up. Well, they've got another preseason game on Saturday. They play the first Monday night game of the season as they host the Denver Broncos. Should be a whole lot of fun. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by the Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of our community members. And in part by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether it be tillable acres, hunting property, or even your dream home, Cody is always looking forward to creating new relationships or continuing to build on existing ones. We continue our look around the world of high school football in the area. A lot of high schools, and we're going to do our best to get to all of them. And today we're heading down to Stafford County for a little bit. After our first break, we're going to welcome in Ruben Martin, the head coach of the St. John Hudson Tigers. And later in the show, we'll talk to Zach Baird, the head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals. So Coach Ruben Martin, head coach of the St. John Hudson Tigers, joins us after this break. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
The Fieldhouse is a premier athletic training facility to host many athletic camps and clinics for youth of all ages throughout the year. The Fieldhouse is also a home to several local businesses and includes a full-size training facility, a full-size basketball court, 60 yards of field turf, batting cages, and more. Go to fieldhousegb.com or stop by the Fieldhouse, 2817 9th Street in Great Bend. The Fieldhouse, promoting leadership through athletics.
Introducing Ag Mechanics at Barton Community College in partnership with Case New Holland Top Tech. Hands-on training in areas like electrical, hydraulics, and diesel engines, with technicians gaining the knowledge and skills needed to start a career with CNH Level 1 training. Join this high-demand field at a CNH dealership in only 9 months. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at toptech.bartoncccc.edu.
The fall lineup is here at Scooter's Coffee, and they're not sorry about the pumpkin. Sip your way into fall with Pumpkin Caramelicious, Pumpkin Cinnalicious, Pumpkin Chai, Pumpkin Spice, or Maple Caramelicious. Want something cold? Try the Maple Caramelicious Cream Cold Brew, Caramel Apple Red Bull Infusion, Caramel Apple Shake, or the Sour Patch Kids Lemonade. Hungry? Grab a Pumpkin Caramelicious Muffin or Veggie Breakfast Burrito. Most drinks come hot, iced, or blended, so go ahead, embrace your pumpkin obsession. Fall only lasts so long. Scooter's Coffee, scoot on around in Great Bend and Pratt.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Chris Ramsey, your shelter insurance agent in Great Bend, is here to make sure you're covered with the right protection at the right price. From home, auto, life insurance, renters, personal articles, business, ATV, boat, motorcycle, RV, and farm, Shelter can cover it. Give Chris a call today, 620-793-9390, to discuss your insurance options. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's 620-793-9390. Or stop by 1922 Main in Great Bend.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
American Plains Co-op has been serving customers since 1959. Today, with 16 elevators, 13 fueling sites, and services including agronomy, seed, feed, bulk fuel, grain, farm supply, and precision ag, they're your local agricultural leader. As a patron-owned cooperative, American Plains Co-op is committed to dependable service, strong customer relationships, and helping your operation succeed. Their hard-working Great Bend team goes above and beyond to earn your business. American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, a tradition of excellence since 1959.
A community banker should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Dodge Elligood, the commercial lender for your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the community for a long time and I've helped many people navigate financial challenges and find new financial opportunities. I believe people bank with people. That's why I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 4 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how committed we are to serving you and the communities we call home. At Equity Bank, we never forget it's your money. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry and Caden Sanders here with you, and we're getting distracted. We were having some really good conversation over the break, and we were a little late coming out of that break, but we made it happen. It's a good thing to be talking to folks, and so that's why we're here today. And we're now joined in the studio by Ruben Martin, the head coach of the St. John Hudson Tigers. Coach, thanks for coming on.
Not a problem. I enjoy it, and I like talking football, and I like bragging at my boys.
Let's talk a lot of football then. That's what we're here to do. So you have been with St. John Hudson for a little while, and you were kind of telling us what your roles were. You take over as head coach this year. What were you doing for the Tigers?
The last 2 years, I was assistant under Scott Crable, and I would call the offense on JV. And, throughout my career, I've done both sides of it, and I've also been at the point where I was the only coach, so I had to do both sides. And so the last 2 years, I've been more of a bounce back and forth, give advice on offense, what's needing to be done, give advice on defense, what's happening, and, just kind of being a jack of all trades for everybody.
So. The CEO assistant role, just kind of coming in and going, all right. But I guess that's kind of a good thing because it lets you, now that you're in the head coach position, you've been working with these kids so individually on what they need to do, and you kind of understand where their strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah, because I've been coaching since 2015, and I've done junior high, I've done the youth football, the Bulldogs, and high school. And so these kids that I'm coaching right now, I've coached all of them since third grade. So they all know me. They know that Coach Martin's the grumpy old guy. He's not the young, fun coach. He's going to yell at you sometimes, but we're going to have a good time. But so I know their strengths and weaknesses almost as well as they do, and sometimes better. And that helps when you're coaching, is to know the kid better than they do, because they're kids. They're going to doubt what they're doing, and you're just there to build them up. So.
Yeah, and so much of football is the technique, and when you fall into a bad habit, you may not know it, but someone who knows the game and knows you as a player can tell you when you've kind of gotten off on your mechanics a little bit.
That and just building the confidence.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not a South Central. We don't have guys that are. I think I have 3 guys over 6 foot. And it's not like I have a. We're not Central Plains. We're not some of these teams that you walk out there and these are all grown men. What's happening over here? And so, you gotta build these kids up and help them understand that they can do anything that those other kids can do, because they're still just high school kids, all of them, and they're all learning. Those guys make mistakes. They just look different doing it because they're 6'4", 260.
A lot easier to cover up for a mistake when you got. No, I understand. Tell us about some of the kids that you do have. Like you said, you've been working with these kids for several years now, and tell us about your seniors. Tell us about the folks that are going to make a difference for you.
Okay, so my seniors this year, only one of them I haven't coached for a long time. His name's Jonathan Miller. He came out. He's a 6'4", about 230. He's a good kid. He's not one of our best athletes. He fills in. He comes to practice every day. And he's just one of those kids that when you put him out there, he's going to go out there and he's going to try to do something. That's not something he grew up doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I have my other seniors are Jericho Maherder. He's 6 foot, 175. He's the reigning 1A class 400-meter champion in track. He runs about a 4.5 40. I've coached him ever since he was young, and he's really blossomed as he's come along at receiver and defensive back, because there's nobody faster than him on the field. Last year at Attica, Argonia, he had to slow down to catch a pass, and even while slowing down, he was outrunning the DB. So, I mean, he's one of those weapons.
He's a weapon
that you just sit there and you go, if I give him even 2 seconds to get a head start, then our quarterback just has to throw the ball and him catch it, and no one's going to catch it. Then we have Benny Sheets. I've coached him ever since he was a little tiny kid. Well, he's never been a little tiny kid. He's always been, I think, 6 foot 200. I've never seen him not be big. He'll be playing our line. He'll be on defensive line and offensive line. He's big, but he's got good footwork. He's got good speed. He's got a lot of tenacity at defensive end. He will run you down, and he is not afraid to keep. Nobody scares him. He's a solid kid, nicest kid in the world. And you put him on the football field. He kind of reminds me, not quite as big, but kind of reminds me of Kyle Huser. You talk to him, and he's just the most genuine kid. You put him on a football field, and I'm glad I'm on the sideline and I'm not back there. So
I'm glad he's one of ours.
Yeah. And so the last senior I have is actually my son. His name's William. We like to joke around a little bit and call him the muscle hamster. He's 5'6", 160 pounds. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to coach him since 3rd grade, except for 1 year. And so for me, that's been a really great deal. But what he brings, last year we had some kids, you know, these guys all followed up a really talented class last year. And so they're all kind of trying to fill in. And William came in, he got injured early in the season, so he couldn't play much. And he came in and started the last 4 games at linebacker for us and racked up 44 tackles in 4 games. And so, you know, if he would have been out there for all 9 games, he probably would have been our 2nd leading tackler behind Braxton, who it's hard to follow that kid. You know,
Sure.
He's just an amazing athlete. But so, you know, William, he's our running back, our linebacker. He, you know, I can hand him the ball 25, 30 times, and I don't want to come out. Leave me in. But, you know, being a coach's son, you know, you guys know how that goes. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You don't want to come out because you don't want to get it when you go home, and you don't want to get it at practice the next day. So it's those are my seniors, and those are my guys, and they've been with me. You know, the 3 have been with me ever since young age, and I couldn't imagine doing this without them. So it's just been a fun path to walk with them. So
it's got to be cool to have, like you mentioned, you know, Central Plains, everybody out there's a grown man, and it's a little bit different, but you've still got, like you mentioned, some weapons.
Yeah.
You got some fast guys, you got some big guys. There is a football team here.
Oh yes. Yeah. And that's, you know, I'm always optimistic, but I'm pretty realistic too. And I'll never put these guys down, because what's going to happen is I think we're going to surprise some people. Because, you know, we had a big class graduate, you know, and that takes a lot. When you take that much leadership out, you guys know what it does. It changes how a football team feels. But when you have kids that have been battle tested through having to back those guys up in a game and try to play to their level, they're going to come out wanting it. You know, they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I want to show everybody how good I am. And there's other teams that are like, oh, well, they've lost a lot. It's like, well, we've lost a lot, but there's always been more there. We've just never had to showcase it. And so that's where we're going to be. We're going to be very competitive this year. And, you know, we have a good, conducive first part of the schedule, the first 5 games. And, you know, like I've told a few other people, the last 3 games are a bit of a juggernaut. You know, we're going to Kiowa County, and they're loaded. You know, they've really not lost much. Then we're at home against South Central for senior night. My son's super excited about that. And then we're going to Central Plains for the last game of the season. And so we get to play 3 of the best teams in Division I, and it's gonna be interesting to see where we're at, because like I tell the boys, you know, as long as we come out, we do what we're supposed to, we have a good conducive 5 games. You know, we could walk in there possibly, you know, 4-1, 5-0. That changes your mentality as a player when you walk in and you have the confidence. You know, and then so you go into Kiowa County, who is a good team, and you don't feel like it's so far away. You know, and South Central always is going to look really far away. But, you know, once you get a little bit of that swagger and that confidence, it changes how that distance closes a little bit. That gap gets a little smaller. So I think that there's going to be some I think there's going to be some surprise people this year after we come out of here. So
you mentioned playing some of the best teams in D1 this year. You're moving up, right, from D2 to D1.
Yeah, we one kid. We're sitting at 70. We are the smallest. We're the last one on the D1, and we kind of even joke that, you know, who can we convince to be homeschooled, so that way we can stay at D2, because everybody around us, you know, I grew up in Kinsley, so this is all big rivalry for me, you know, and all these towns around us that we're used to playing in our districts that are close, they all are D2 now, and we move up to D1, and, you know, we're just like, well, great, now that just our district just explodes and makes us, it's not terribly far away, but it's a lot better to drive to Maxville and Stafford than it is to, now we got to drive an hour to go to a game.
Yep.
You know, it just makes that you want to play close, and there's also, you get to have that in-county rivalry with all those teams that way. It makes it more fun. So
Sure. Every 8 and 6 man coach that I've spoken to so far this week has wanted to talk up the community that they're a part of, and that they're coming, or whether it be their first year or they've been there a while. You've been in St. John for a minute now. Talk about kind of the community support that you feel, parents and kids in the school, and just the surrounding area. How does St. John kind of step up for this football team?
Well, we have, the beautiful part about it is the kids that are out for the team. We have a set small group of parents that it's everything to them. Then we have others that it's important, and so they fill the roles. And so, unfortunately, my wife has, even when she was not the parent of the person when I coached junior high and my son was in 3rd grade, she was like, I feel like my kid is out there because, because I'm all in, and I expect that. And so I have not had a lot of trouble out of it. It's just, it's one of those things where you have every town's the same. You have some people that, it doesn't matter because it's sports and that's not what they do.
Sure.
But the ones that love it, I mean, whenever we ask for something or we need help or we do our golf tournament or anything like that, everybody's more than willing to stand up, help, donate things. And, we always have a good turnout, and that I can't complain about it. And it's just one of those things that it's, and of course it's week to week, and when we have South Central come home, they're, I know, cause it's just like anywhere else. You always have, it's like, I'm not sure I want to go watch that. It's like, well, I'd rather you did. The boys want to see you there no matter how bad it is or how good it is. They want to see you there. And so, it's always a little struggle in the beginning, because also when it's 105 degrees out, nobody wants to sit out in the metal bleachers and just get baked for an hour. And so it takes a little bit, but when we need things, people come out and they step up.
That's awesome.
And it's not always people that, they don't even always tell us who they are. It's just, they call up the school and say, hey, here, I want to donate this. So
what do you want the identity of your team to be? If you've got just a word or phrase, when people think of St. John Hudson football, they think of this.
It's honestly, it's just grit. That's it. Grit and determination, because like I said, these guys are coming in with a chip on their shoulder. They followed a couple of really athletic classes, and they're wanting to showcase who they are, and it's that they've put a lot of work in. The kids have, and Easton Alpers is Braxton's little brother. He's our quarterback, and he's a lefty, and he he's had to follow in his brother's footsteps, and that's the main thing I try to remind him is, you're not Braxton Alpers. Nobody expects you to be Braxton Alpers. You just be Easton. And Easton's not as much of a threat running. That's not who he is. Braxton's first instinct was to make about 6 cuts, make everybody miss, and then run 90 yards for a touchdown, and try to run somebody over on the way there. Easton is a pocket passer. He likes to sit. He's patient, and his accuracy is ridiculous. He can hit you wherever you're at. And so it's, that's just the thing is, like I said, it's just a bunch of kids with a chip on their shoulder, and they've had to follow all of the main guys for so long, and now it's their turn. So it's going to be grit and determination. They're not going to give up. And all of these guys, I know for a fact, because I've been around them enough. You have to break their leg to take them off. And, and I say that jokingly because William last year in the Nest City JV game injured his ankle and was out, and he was mad because we called the ambulance over to get him. And it cramped, and he rolled it real bad at the same time. So it was everything real bad. And they were like, you need to go get this checked out. And he's like, I do not want to go. And I was like, I don't want you to be over here walking around on a broke ankle and then you never play football again. So that was a fun fight on the field and at home. And because I got blamed for that for 4 weeks. So, but and that's just the thing, though, is these guys, they don't give up. They're there to the end, and that's all I ever ask of the guys whenever I coach is you give me everything I have, and I'll give you every opportunity to be great. So
awesome. Well, Coach, we've already gone through the schedule in detail. Let folks know where you're going to be in week 1, how they can come and see you.
Week 1, we're going to be at home. Nest City is going to come see us. I'm pretty excited because they got a new coach and they got a new guy there, and so it'll be interesting. I'm going to have to. I'm sure he's going to hear this. I'm going to have to send some spies out to watch their jamboree so I know what they're doing because they were the old single wing offense, and I don't know if they're going to still be that. So I got some high school kid moles that have buddies that talk to each other, and so I always ask them what they. And so I just it's going to be interesting, and it'll be at home on the 4th of September. It's going to be our first game. We do have our jamboree the 28th of August down in Montezuma, so we get to take a 2-hour drive to South Gray, and
nice.
So it's funny because it's us and Maxville and Pratt Skyline driving to Montezuma. I'm like, man, that's
one of us couldn't have hosted this.
Like, that's an interesting situation.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time today. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for the spot.
Yeah, that is Ruben Martin, the head coach of the St. John Hudson Tigers, joining us here on Sports Day. We got to take a break, and on the other side, we're joined by Zach Baird, the head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals. You're listening to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
A community banker should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Chauncey Divis, commercial banker for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the community for a long time, and I look forward to helping people navigate financial challenges and find new financial opportunities. I believe people bank with people. That's why I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 4 Equity Bank locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how committed we are to serving you and the communities we call home. At Equity Bank, we never forget, it's your money. Member FDIC.
Cine Doors, this is Cindy.
Mima, my summer has been great, but it's starting to feel like a garage door school.
Garage door school?
Yep, I'm learning wood grain colors and smart operators. There's a lot to know.
Sounds like you need a vacation.
I do.
How about a road trip to find a porch goose?
Mima, around here we call them a garage door goose.
Well, Hadley, it sounds like garage door school is paying off.
I'll be a garage door expert in no time.
Upgrade your curb appeal with beautiful wood grain garage doors and smart operators. For same-day quotes, visit C&E Doors in Great Bend or Hayes.
The Fieldhouse is a premier athletic training facility to host many athletic camps and clinics for youth of all ages throughout the year. The Fieldhouse is also a home to several local businesses and includes a full-size training facility, a full-size basketball court, 60 yards of field turf, batting cages, and more. Go to fieldhousegb.com or stop by the Fieldhouse, 2817 9th Street in Great Bend. The Fieldhouse, promoting leadership through athletics.
Ready to get top dollar for your assets? Auctions are the fastest and most reliable way to achieve that. With 49 years of auction experience selling land, equipment, guns, and coins, we handle it all.
Nationwide marketing, providing your assets with maximum exposure and proven results. See upcoming auctions and services at redcedarland.com or call Cody Crook at 620-617-7320.
Red Cedar Land Company, rooted in results. 25-70-70-35.
Chris Ramsey, your shelter insurance agent in Great Bend, is here to make sure you're covered with the right protection at the right price. From home, auto, life insurance, renters, personal articles, business, ATV, boat, motorcycle, RV, and farm, Shelter can cover it. Give Chris a call today, 620-793-9390, to discuss your insurance options. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's 620-793-9390. Or stop by 1922 Main in Great Bend.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl. carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor. And don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined by Zach Baird, the head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals. Coach, it has been a very long off season. It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
All right, so let's talk about it. Really good season, great season for us last year. I'm the voice of Hoisington Cardinal football. I feel like I can say us at this point. A really great season comes to an end against a really, really great Southeast Saline team. But we're back for another year. I mean, I guess talk about how last season kind of continued to build on the program that you've had at Hoisington the last couple of several years, and how we're going to continue that this year.
Yeah, we had 8 seniors last year, and they did a great job for us, And the nice thing about those 8 was they were kind of spread out where they played position-wise. And so we had a couple on the O-line, had a quarterback, had a B-back, had a couple of receivers. And so I felt like we just had good leadership at a bunch of different position groups. And, obviously didn't end the way we wanted it to. And I thought we played well that last game. It was just there was about 4 or 5 plays that kind of decided the game. And unfortunately for us, Southeast won all 4 of those reps. So, but nothing to hang our heads about. Was extremely proud of the effort they put into the year. And, just like every year now, it's a new group. We got 13 seniors this year. Feel great about our senior leadership. And so it's exciting. Anytime you have good senior leadership, the possibility of having a good year is always there.
I was talking with Gene Manweiler, who is going to be back for another year as my color analyst this year, about this senior class. He sent me a picture of all the seniors lined up, and we kind of had a conversation back and forth about, this is a school, Hoisington, that's a little less than 200 kids, and you've got 13 seniors playing football. That says a lot about the culture, Coach.
Yeah, and you have years where you have big classes. You have years where you don't. This just happens to be a huge class for us, and I think off the top of my head, 13 is the most we've ever had. There's been a couple other years where we've had double digits, but all 13 made 90% or more. Some are weight room attendants. A lot of those guys didn't miss a day. And, I was thinking back over the years, the years that we've kind of had that were struggles for us, you kind of think like it's either not a big senior class or just doesn't have that senior leadership that you need. And so I'm just super excited about this group and, excited to get going.
Absolutely. So, Coach, you mentioned some of those departures. I think the question everybody has is quarterback. Marty had such a great year last year. Mason Martin ran for, I think, accounted for over 2,000 yards as a quarterback. And so who's the next man up and who's going to be under center this year?
Yeah, we got some different options, but it kind of looks like Coulter Hahn's kind of taking the reins on it and, had a great summer for us. Probably would have been our backup last year had he been healthy, but he had Tommy John surgery, so he was able to play, just wasn't able to throw a ball. So I thought Coulter's done a great job this summer, and he's kind of a throwback kid. He's kind of a tougher kid. Probably doesn't have the same type of arm that Marty did, but, I think Marty probably had the best arm that we've had in 13 years. So it'll probably be a little bit different looking offense with some similarities, but quarterback run game is going to be big for us. I think Coulter does a really good job running the football. So excited to see what type of year he has because he really has had a great summer.
I'm kind of at a unique advantage being the play-by-play guy for your team, Coach, because I've already seen the roster. You've sent me a depth chart to this point, and so I've got a little bit of an inside peek. Coach, I look at your defense, and, you're losing some really good pieces. You've got that entire front seven made up of seniors. And, front seven was nasty last year, and you lose Taylor Morales, that linebacker spot. You lose Leighton Hoffman in the middle, but I still look at it, and I'm going, Coach, this front seven is nasty.
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys there, a lot of seniors. We bring back Brody Corbett, who's our Mike last year. And so he's kind of the voice of the defense. He's done that for 3 years now. So the fact that he's back as a senior helps. It's going to be really tough to replace Leighton Hoffman. Hoff did such a good job demanding doubles, maintaining both A gaps for us. So when you got a nose who is a true 2-gap player, that makes it so much nicer for us defensively. But, we got Carson Kim and we got Gavin Jackson. We got Knoxley Netlam. It might be kind of more of a rotation thing and kind of piecemealing a little bit more than it was last year with Hoff. But, we've got good pieces we feel about. We got 2 DNs that can run with Drew Heckley and then obviously Fonz. And so if we can stop people's run game and force them to be one-dimensional and then kind of turn those 2 DNs loose, it should be good for us.
You bring up Brody Fonensteel, and you didn't bring him today. I'm sure we'll see him at some point, but we'll talk about him a lot regardless, just because, Coach, anytime you've got probably the best player on the field, it gives you a chance to win. Talk about just how much of a game changer he can be.
Yeah, I think Fonz has got a unique skill set. And we've got to earn the right to rush the quarterback. We've got to be good on early downs and stop, people's run game. So, but he just, when you have a big kid like that who's twitchy and has a get off like he has, it's just, you don't see that every Friday night. So, great kid. One of the 13 seniors, works hard just like the other seniors do. So, for us, he's just one of the guys. Now he looks a little bit different than most guys, but good kid, works hard, and has a skill set.
Talk to me about the last question for you, Coach. You've got bumping up from 2A to 3A this season. The schedule is you're going to play a lot of teams that you played last year, but also some new faces on there. Tell folks about the schedule.
Yeah, I think that's the key. What you said, Brand. Like, we've been 2A for quite some time, but if you look at our schedule. We play Pratt every year.
Mm-hmm.
We're fortunate enough to play Cheney the last couple of years, and you look at 3A West. Obviously, Andel's going to jump off the page. Probably not. Probably. I mean, the most winning program in the state. But outside of that, Pratt's always a contender. Cheney's always a contender. I think Pratt, Cheney, off the top of my head, were the last 2 teams to beat Andel. So. We know Holcomb out west is really good. Clay Center's been really good. Rock Creek's been good when they're in the west. So some different schools, but, that's one thing we kind of pride ourselves on is we do play a tough schedule, and we'll go play anybody, anytime, anywhere. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a good challenge just like it is every year for us, and that's kind of what we look forward to.
So, Coach, you got 2 players in here with us today. Go ahead and introduce your guys.
Yeah, so I got Brody Corbett, who's a senior for us. Plays right tackle, plays inside linebacker, started multiple years for us. Kind of a football junkie, like a smart kid, knows what we do, makes solid checks, and he's going to be somebody that we rely real heavily on this year. And then Carson Kidman. Carson plays center this year, and then also going to be our nose. Carson's one of those guys that has just worked day in, day out, ever since he was a freshman. He's always the first guy there, summer weights. I got to get there early if I want to beat him. But, just one of those kids I'm so proud of with the progress he's made since he was a freshman. So these 2 guys up front, we're going to definitely hang our hat on, and we'll go as far as they take us.
Absolutely. All right, let's get you guys on the mic. We'll talk to Brody first. Brody Corbett, right tackle, Mike linebacker. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you.
So, Brody, talk to us about, it's your senior year. You've been a starter for a couple of years now. Talk to us about how your game has evolved and where you want to get better.
Probably mentally first. I feel like it's the game playing 3 years now. It's all grown on me. So I've kind of figured out what I need to do and what not to do. Defensively, offensively, I've started 3 years full time, and it's the guys in front of me that have taught me everything they know. It's kind of grown on me.
So you are a right tackle, and folks can't see you right now, but tell folks how much you weigh starting on the offensive line.
5'10", 195.
All right, so you're a little undersized. That's about what I weighed when I was playing guard in high school. But either way, so you're a little undersized. What is it kind of being a starter on the offensive line like, being not the 6'5", 300 that you see a lot of times at the spot?
It's technique. Technique is what will. If you're this size, it's all technique. That's Coach Kelch preaches that every day. If you're going to be this size in our offense, it's technique.
And it's mentality too, right? It's you got to be ready to just go and get after somebody.
Absolutely.
And so do you bring that mentality to the defensive side as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's defensively, we got to bring the juice at linebacker, and I feel like we do a pretty good job with that.
13 seniors playing football this year. You're one of them. Talk about that senior class and some of the other guys that are playing with you.
It's a big senior class. I think it's one of the better senior classes I've been a part of, obviously, through my 4 years. A lot of leadership, and we all just have the same goal in mind.
And that goal is?
state championship.
Heck yeah, man. I love it. Talk to us a little bit about that front seven that you're going to be a part of. I mean, we've brought up Carson a little bit. We brought up the DNs. Tell us about the other linebackers in the core.
Other linebackers, I'll start Corbin Allende. He's right next to me. We've been playing together for 2 years now. He's like a brother. And then outside linebackers, Caden and Preston. We get Preston back this year, which I'm excited for. Haven't played with him in a while. D-line, we returned quite a bit. Yeah, not much difference than last year.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And Bentley is going to be starting next to you on the offensive line. Your brother Bentley is going to be the right guard this year. That's freaking cool, man. My brother's 6 years older than me. I never got to play with him, but the brothers starting to get right next to each other on the offensive line. Talk about that a little bit.
It's exciting. I've never got to play with him. Obviously, he's battled injuries. His freshman year, I think he got hurt like week 1, and then last year he got hurt week 5. So, and now that we get to play together, I appreciate it more than I think he does right now. But once I'm gone, I think he'll realize how much fun it really is.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about, and I should ask your coach this question too, the community of Hoisington and what those people, that's a football crazy town. What is it like kind of growing up being a part of that team in that community?
I always say it's one of the better atmospheres in 2A and any Friday night at Elton Brown. Hoisington, no one, I don't think, really comes out to a game like Hoisington does. The town's very appreciative of what we do and very thankful for the fans.
Absolutely. All right, Carson, you're up. Carson Kinman starting at center this year, moving in from you were left guard last year, right?
Yep.
All right, so you're moving in from that left guard spot to center. Talk about that transition.
It won't be that hard for me because I've been playing center every year, just back up. Started JV center freshman year. It won't be much different.
All right, you're a little bit bigger of a guy than Brody is. You look a little more like an offensive lineman. You've got some guys next to you, I think especially on that left side, some real size on that offensive line. Just talk about the mentality of this group since you're kind of the centerpiece of it now. What is it like being on that offensive line?
Yeah, our line really won't be that big. I think me and Bentley Corbett are the only ones over 200 pounds. I think I'm the only one over 6 foot tall. We're not a big O-line. We're going to rely on our coaching and our technique.
And so you're kind of the biggest guy on this squad right now. Talk about what it's like kind of being first guy off the bus. Is that something you take pride in?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I have more responsibility at center. I make all the calls. I get the ball to the quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I take pride in it.
And Brody mentioned this as well, and I want to ask you the same thing. Talk about the community that you're a part of, and just what it's like being a football player in Hoisington.
Yeah, I've been going to the games since I was a little kid, and that's what I look forward to as a kid. Them Friday nights watching the older kids play, and now I get to do it, and it's just special. We got a week 1 Labor Day weekend. Everyone's families are back. It's going to be good.
All right. Carson, thank you so much. Coach, we'll get you back up on here for the final couple of seconds of the interview here. Tell us about week 1. Where can people come and find you?
Yeah, we got Hillsboro again week 1. I was talking to these guys. It's been quite a while since we've had a Labor Day home game. And, it's special because in Hoisington, Labor Day is a big deal. You have class reunions. And so I know we're going to honor a couple teams that we've had in the past. We'll honor the group of 17, that played in the fall of 16. Get to recognize those guys. And the special thing about that is you look back, and that's probably – we've had so many great groups, but that one's really special. The first team to reach the semis and kind of who we hung our hat on is what Cardinal football was going to look like. And then the group of that played in the fall of 20 and graduated 21, I believe. But first team that made it to the state championship game. And both of those groups are extremely special. And so hopefully we get as many of those guys back as we can. It'd be great just to see them, and so proud of what they've done, not just as players when we had them, but, the young men that they've turned into. And, it's crazy to think that a lot of those guys are already starting families, so hopefully we can get as many guys back and hopefully we can get them around our guys and just kind of tie in that this is really kind of who you're playing for. And these are the guys that built the program that you're walking into right now. So, week 1, man, I think Hillsborough has a really good program. Saw them in the playoffs last year, and it'll be a good challenge, but it'll be a fun atmosphere.
Absolutely. Coach, thanks for the time today.
Hey, Brant, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
That's Zach Baird, the head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals, joining us here on Sports Day.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Introducing Ag Mechanics at Barton Community College in partnership with Case New Holland Top Tech. Hands-on training in areas like electrical, hydraulics, and diesel engines, with technicians gaining the knowledge and skills needed to start a career with CNH Level 1 training. Join this high-demand field at a CNH dealership in only 9 months. Now enrolling for the fall semester. Learn more at toptech.bartoncccc.edu.
Ready to get top dollar for your assets? Auctions are the fastest and most reliable way to achieve that. With 49 years of auction experience selling land, equipment, guns, and coins, we handle it all.
Nationwide marketing, providing your assets with maximum exposure and proven results. See upcoming auctions and services at redcedarland.com or call Cody Crook at 620-617-7320.
Red Cedar Land Company, rooted in results. 25-70-70-35.
The fall lineup is here at Scooter's Coffee, and they're not sorry about the pumpkin. Sip your way into fall with Pumpkin Caramelicious, Pumpkin Cinnalicious, Pumpkin Chai, Pumpkin Spice, or Maple Caramelicious. Want something cold? Try the Maple Caramelicious Cream Cold Brew, Caramel Apple Red Bull Infusion, Caramel Apple Shake, or the Sour Patch Kids Lemonade. Hungry? Grab a Pumpkin Caramelicious Muffin or Veggie Breakfast Burrito. Most drinks come hot, iced, or blended, so go ahead, embrace your pumpkin obsession. Fall only lasts so long. Scooter's Coffee, scoot on around in Great Bend and Pratt.
Mom, our flight leaves in 2 hours. Are we ready?
Ready? Yes. Moving? No.
Why not?
Because the garage door won't open.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope, the car is trapped. We might miss our flight.
A broken garage door can ruin your vacation plans. When your garage won't open, call C&D Doors for fast, dependable service.
Mom, if it gets us to the airport on time, I'm leaving them an awesome Google review.
C&D Doors, serving Central and Western Kansas. Call 620-792-2499 in Great Bend or 785-625-5532 in Hayes.
American Plains Co-op has been serving customers since 1959. Today, with 16 elevators, 13 fueling sites, and services including agronomy, seed, feed, bulk fuel, grain, farm supply, and precision ag, they're your local agricultural leader. As a patron-owned cooperative, American Plains Co-op is committed to dependable service, strong customer relationships, and helping your operation succeed. Their hard-working Great Bend team goes above and beyond to earn your business. American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, a tradition of excellence since 1959.
Welcome back. Final 5 or so minutes of Sports Day. I've got a lot of reading that I need to do, so bear with me for a second. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service, where you'll always find the best deal on the floor you want and the information you need to make a wise choice. Also by Chris Ramsey of Shelter Insurance as your shelter agent. He can help you find... Take 2. He can help you make sure that you get the right coverage at the right price while providing the quality service you expect. Feel free to give him a call to discuss your insurance options today. Brought to you in part by Equity Bank. They never forget, it's your money. In part by American Plains Co-op, your local grain, feed, energy, seed, agronomy, and retail co-op with a rich history of tradition within our communities. Also in part by Scooter's Coffee, brewing smiles with quality coffee and treats since 1998, 3501 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by C&E Doors, with almost 3 decades of experience in the garage door industry, you can rest assured that C&E Doors will meet your needs. And by the Fieldhouse, your starting block for success, the state-of-the-art gym facility. Stop by today. And that's all the reading I have to do. Big thanks Again, I'm Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of the program. Caden Sanders is over in the co-pilot's chair. Landon Winkler is running their video feed and your cameras. Big thanks to Ruben Martin and Zach Baird, the head coaches of St. John Hudson and Hoisington. You know, Caden, you've been around a little bit longer than I have, and you know, Coach Martin stuck around, and we spoke a little bit more about kind of the landscape of 6- and 8-man football, and I think that program has a chance to, especially early, really make some kind of splash. And he kind of touched on it. If you can win 4 of those first 5, or even all 5 of those first games that St. John has, this can be a program that has a really good year, because confidence, you start building that confidence up and you go, okay, we can hang with the big boys. And look, South Central is a juggernaut. Everybody knows that in the 8-man spot. But in their first year in D1, it feels like this St. John team can have better than just a winning record.
Football, I feel like, is all about momentum. And what type of swagger do you come in with? Obviously, you're going to have your individual goals that you want to accomplish. But if you can accomplish it as a team and you have fun with it, say they do go 4-1 or even 5-0 and they beat La Crosse in a league game like that. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you hang your hat on and you go, okay, we might be that team. But then, you look on the other side of that schedule and you just go, all right, let's hang with the big boys now. Let's prove who we are.
We've proven we belong at this level. Now let's go do it amongst the best,
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to certainly be that run of, I can't remember who the first one is, but you've got one good team, then you got South Central, and then you got Central Plains. Three very good 8-man teams, one after the other. And then obviously Hoisington, we know what they've been since Zach Baird arrived as the head coach and kind of what they've turned into. And this is a year, yes, they lose a ton, and we touched on that in the interview, but this is still a squad that has just 13 seniors on a 3A squad. This is a culture of winning that Zach Baird has built. You mentioned the swagger that good football teams have, and Hoisington, just year after year, they come into the season with those kinds of expectations.
At a program like Hoisington, it's not just the swagger, it's the culture. Ever since you're a little kid, you look up at that field, you're throwing the football around, but you're wanting to watch those plays, and you want to be them later on in life. And so
Carson Kinman said as much in that interview.
Exactly, and that's what you got to have for a successful winning program like they have. And I think that Zach Baird has got it down to a science, and I think that for them it's always going to be the next man up.
Absolutely. So really looking forward to that. We didn't mention Brody Fonensteel. We kind of talked about him off the air, but Hoisington would be a good team regardless, just because of the culture and the seniors that they do have. But by the way, more games than not this year, they're just going to have the best dude on the field. And probably in every single game, depends on where you rank Arlie Morrell of Pratt in that. But
yeah.
Overall, just it'll be. I'm excited. I'm going to be excited for the team that I call. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Big thanks to Ruben Martin of St. John Hudson. Big thanks to Zach Baird of Hoisington. Thanks to Caden Sanders for joining me. Thanks to Landon Winkler for running the video feed and the cameras. Thanks to you for watching and listening. I'm Brant Daughtry. Thank you for having me. We'll be back tomorrow. Actually, no show tomorrow because the Royals are playing. We're back on Friday, same time, same place, 12:30 on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.